Hey everyone, so I wanted to make sure that I made a video before the end of the year just to kind of keep people updated and to let people know that I'm still here. Once again, I feel the need to apologise for not making a lot of content this year, especially in the last couple of months. I was feeling quite optimistic about YouTube and about a lot of creative stuff in general, sort of towards the back end of last year, but then I had a breakdown for my 25th birthday, which, you know, wasn't the best present I've ever had. So yeah, things kind of have been a bit weird since then, but I'm trying to see it as a good thing really. Like, I think perhaps I needed that in order to start learning how to actually get on with life really, because I haven't really done a lot of the things that I'd hoped to have done by now. I guess part of me thought I would somehow one day just be well and be better and everything would be fine, which hasn't happened, and I'm realising now that getting better, whatever that means, is something that's going to take time and patience and a lot of work, and a lot of acceptance and just learning, I guess. So this year has been kind of difficult and I really haven't had any energy or any motivation to really do a lot of things. And I didn't want to force myself to make videos, and I didn't want to force myself to draw or write or really do any of those things, because I just felt it wouldn't be my best stuff, and I didn't want to put out things that I didn't like or that I didn't care about, so I felt it was better to not do those things. I've mentioned before that, you know, with lucid dreaming really helped me to understand that my voices were parts of me, and that they were perhaps emotions or just bits of personality that I hadn't developed or really learned to cope with. But I don't think I really understood what that meant. So for example, with Darren being really angry all the time, I kind of realised, oh yeah, Darren, you know, he's my anger, but I would still refer to it as Darren's anger rather than my own, because I didn't realise it was really coming from me. And anger's a weird emotion for me, which I just can't quite figure out. And I guess all the things that my voices want, or my voices like, or that my voices feel, I still see it as them feeling it, as something separate from myself feeling it, rather than actually realising that those feelings are coming from me. And it's okay that those feelings are coming from me, and it's okay that I want certain things, it's okay that I feel certain things, because usually I don't see any of my needs or desires or whatever as being important. I view them mostly as being bad, that I shouldn't feel these things, even though they're perfectly normal human things. But it's sort of, I guess I'm learning how to be human. So that in itself is quite scary, because I've spent 26 years trying to suppress massive parts of my personality and who I am. Some of that is through shame, even though it's nothing really to be ashamed of, but that's just how I am. So I'm, you know, kind of working through those things, and I'm not quite sure how long that's going to take, but, you know, I've got to undo 26 years worth of negative thoughts and all of that stuff. So yeah, it's been kind of knackering for me. But part of that, one of the things that I have started doing is I've started wearing wristbands to represent each of the voices. So when it comes to the voices, I'm still going to refer to them as voices. Referring to them as hallucinations doesn't feel right, and referring to them as alters, as in alternate personalities, like with dissociative identity disorder, also doesn't feel right, because I don't know, I still don't know how, I don't have like a diagnosis of DID. You know, it's one of those things that I've kind of discussed with doctors in the past, but again, there's so much going on, I've got a lot of complex issues going on that it's really difficult to categorise it and I guess put a label on it, but yeah, so I'm just going to refer to them as voices because that's what I've been referring to them as, and I feel more comfortable with that, I guess. So I've mentioned before with the voices that, or at least I think I have, that I associate a colour with each one of them. And even though my voices can kind of come and go whenever they want, I thought a good method of trying to, I guess, maybe regulate things a bit is to have a wristband for each one of them. So maybe if one of them has a lot to say and they want to be around that day, I'll put their wristband on, and I'll kind of use it as a reminder that they're with me if I need them. And I guess as well, it's that thing of like with Scott, for example. Scott's someone who's very confident and he can handle himself in social situations, so if I'm going to be somewhere where I need to be that kind of person, then I will wear Scott's wristband, I guess as a way to remind me of those qualities and that those qualities exist within me. And I guess it's just me kind of allowing him to be with me as well in that moment if I actually need him. So, you know, I just got myself some wristbands off of Amazon, different coloured ones. Ted is purple, Sid is yellow, Dean's green, Scott is blue, and Darren is red. And I'm finding that to be quite a useful method. I will probably make a separate video going more in depth on that and how that's helped me so far, but that's just one of the sort of methods that I've made to help me out. So as far as video making is going to go, I'm currently just going to aim for maybe 1 or 2 a month to start with. I understand that there are people who, I mean, there are not a lot of people that give me money on Patreon, and I get that. And obviously I apologise for people who do give me money, even if it's a small amount. I still feel bad that people are giving me that and I'm not putting stuff out. So a big apology there, and I'll do my best to keep up with my promises and the things that I had previously committed myself to. So yeah, thank you for that. I'm currently trying to come up with a better routine for my day and a better way of, I guess, dealing with anxiety and stress. Just sitting and reading can be quite nice for me, burning incense, trying to meditate, although not always successfully, playing music, getting back into guitar and piano and accordion. Can't get back into drums because I just don't have any space for a drum kit, which is a shame because I really liked playing drums, but maybe one day. And also, I guess as we come toward the end of the year, just thinking about the things that I have managed to do. So I wrote and illustrated a children's book, which I published at the beginning of the year. Initially this book was just meant for my niece, but I decided to go ahead and get it published anyway. And even though I haven't been able to market it and promote it as well as I would have liked to, I still did it, and there's still always plenty of opportunities in the future. I went into a primary school and read it to the kids and drew pictures with them, and they all loved it, which was a fantastic opportunity, and also just made me realise that even if I don't have a massive audience, it's still nice that there's a few people that I can connect with, I guess. And then of course I did my talk in London with Charlie Morley back in March, which was fantastic. I really enjoyed that. Once again, it was a completely new experience, and just one of those things where I'm really glad that I had that opportunity to do it. And a couple of weeks ago I did another talk, this time on being transgender. I spoke about being transgender and having a lot of complex mental health issues, and the difficulties in getting help with both of those areas, because a lot of the time I find now, if I try and get help with my mental health, and people, doctors, whoever, learn that I'm trans, they try and equate all of my mental health issues to being trans. And particularly, I think it was last year when I was trying to get help. You know, my doctor said that they could refer me to the gender clinic, but the gender clinic is there to help people go through transition, not to help people with mental health problems. And the gender clinic itself isn't even equipped to deal with mental health issues related to transitioning. So I got to talk about that, and that was great. And you know, hopefully there'll be more events in the future where I can talk about stuff like that. I became an uncle again, so now I've got a nephew, and yeah, I'm excited to do more books and just do more things for them, really. And there's probably been a few other things as well, but just I can't off the top of my head think of them. But yeah, I guess it has been an okay year when I look at it from that point of view. Although I'm still nowhere near where I want to be, and I'm not entirely sure where I want to be, I'm still here, so that's got to count for something, I guess. But yeah, I appreciate everyone being patient with me. I appreciate people who follow me on Facebook and Twitter and all those places. I know I don't really update a lot, but I really appreciate people who have stuck around. I appreciate people who are still interested in my videos. I always appreciate when people reach out to me over social media. So yeah, I just want to say thank you to everybody for still being here with me, and again, thank you to people on Patreon for supporting me, and just in general, really. I feel quite grateful for having a platform to kind of talk about these things and interact with people. So with that being said, thank you very much for watching, guys. From me and Rara, have a Merry Christmas, and I'll see you in the next video.